everyone, I am Graziella Augier from Design Sucre, based south of France. And this is it! I am here now on Cakeflix and we are going to have a blast together. Thank you again, Paul and David. Thank you, Cakeflix. I am so happy to be here, so excited. I can't even tell you how much excited I am, and I just can't wait to get it all started. So we are going to be painting butterflies, and next week we are going to paint magnolias, and the week after we're gonna make them in sugar, and I think the week after it's gonna be twigs and berries, and then we'll have leaves, and finally we will arrange it on week 6 all on a cake, and you will see how amazing it looks when you get that sort of 2D, 3D effect on a cake with painted stuff on the tiers and obviously real sugar flowers and those amazing butterflies painted on wafer paper. So one first thing I want to tell you about that wafer paper painting. You've seen me paint last time cocoa butter on sugar paste. I really like cocoa butter on sugar paste because it sits hard and it allows you to paint multiple layers. I could have used cocoa butter on my butterfly, on my wafer paper, but I thought it would be a little bit too thick. So no, I decided to use oil painting. There's a reason why I didn't use, because you might be wondering why, like, why did you not use any watercolor or water-based colour or any alcohol with the dusts? The reason to that is that it would have kind of melted the paper a little bit. I don't want that wafer paper to become any soft at all. I really want it to stay like really flat. If I was gonna do a flower, I guess I wouldn't mind that much, because my petals could be a little bit frilly, but we're doing a butterfly and I want the wings to be really standing straight. I don't want no frills, no movement. I still want my butterfly to stay still and flat. When I thought about you watching my painting tutorial, I thought, oh my god, they're just gonna be so bored watching me paint for about an hour. So I have to admit, I've fast forwarded that video a lot so that you can see all the steps, but in a much faster motion. Otherwise, you'd probably just fall asleep watching me paint, which I don't want to. I want you to have some fun. I want you to learn some techniques, and I want you to want to do the same at home, like reproduce the design or make another design, a new design, and just have fun with it. So yes, don't be scared. There's going to be a lot of it that's been fast forwarded. Just to give you a little idea, I think it took me about an hour and a half to paint the whole butterfly, and you're only gonna have about 15 minutes of that. So once you understand the process, I think you just don't need to see the whole video at a normal motion. There is something I forgot to mention, something really cool. Although these videos have been pre-recorded, I am going to be with you every Tuesday at 7 PM UK time to answer all of your questions. So whether you've got questions about the demo, or you want to know things about the products I'm using, the brands, how they work, anything really, any tips and tricks, or you've got questions about competition, who knows, feel free to ask me anything you really want to know, and I'm super happy to be able to answer. One of the things I like the most is to mix techniques. That's why during the next 6 weeks, you're gonna have some sugar flowers, you're gonna have wafer paper, you're gonna have cocoa butter painting, and arranging all this together to have like a beautiful 2D, 3D effect on a cake. And when I talk about mixing techniques, I'm gonna show you one of my last work that was for a collaboration very recently. So that's the kind of thing I like to do. So this is a cookie. It's a bit of a thick cookie, but because I didn't want to break it, because I really want it to make it until the reveal date. So it's a cookie that's been royalized. So that's royal icing on top of the cookie. and it's hand painted. So the face is hand painted, and you've got sugar flowers here and there with sugar leaves. They're like 3D. And her hijab is, because that was the theme of the collaboration, it was for couture cakers this year, and the theme that the organizer Heba picked was brides with wearing a hijab. So I decided to make it 3D as well. So I'm not sure you can see. Yeah, you can see. It is actually made with florist paste. So that's my thing. Mixing techniques, mixing mediums. And I want to show you how to do it all, because most of the time you quite like to know something about, like, you either like modeling, or you like sugar flowers, or you like isomalt. But my aim is to make you see how much you can mix all those things together to create a piece that's just wow. And on the list of all the amazing things that we're going to be doing together, there is going to be some isomalt work as well. Isomalt that will fit onto a cake. Because I know what people think usually. They see isomalt. I know lately we've been doing like lots of sort of waves and kind of like, you know, big decorations on top of cakes. But other than that, people always wonder when they see all those big sculptures, you know, those humongous isomalt sculptures, and they always think, how is that going to fit onto a cake? You know, how to apply this onto my cake designs? Well, I'm going to tell you everything about it. And I've prepared for you a brand new design that's going to be a two-sided cake. So you'll have like two different designs on two sides of the cake. And it will all be about isomalt. So you'll know everything about isomalt flowers. Well, everything, hopefully. You'll know some things about isomalt flowers and ribbons. You're going to know how to make embellishments. And what else? Let me just check my list. Yeah, we'll be making a big isomalt peony, additional decorations, a bow, plaques. We're going to airbrush an ombre onto our cake. And I've got a little surprise for you that I'm not going to tell you about right now. And I'll keep it as a secret until you see the design. I'm sure you're going to love it though. And once we'll have that cake finished, we will move back onto sugar flowers. And you will learn how to make a few different flowers. But more important, you will learn how to arrange them together. So I will show you how to create a floral hoop to put onto your cake, a floral cake topper, and a wedding posy. So I really hope you're going to enjoy the upcoming weeks, and I can't wait to share all those moments with you. And again, don't forget that if you've got any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. And I wanted to ask you something myself. If you've got any ideas of things you want me to show you, like a flower or something that's painted, anything at all really, yeah, feel free to ask me. And until then, I'm here with you on Cake Flicks. So welcome to this very, very new show. This is new to me, so I can only get better. And until then, ready, bake, decorate! To start with, we're going to talk about the things we are going to need for this class. So I always like to have a good palette of colors. For this class, we're going to use some dust. I really love Squatter's Kitchen dust. What we're going to need next is a template. So I've printed out this butterfly on just normal paper in my printer. It's not like edible or anything. Some tracing paper, and we're going to need, of course, some Wafer paper. So I'm choosing, as it's a butterfly, a wafer paper that's quite thin and flexible in comparison to this one, which is like a lot thicker. We're going to use some paint brushes, a little palette to put your colors on, and we're going to need some vegetable oil. So I'm using, this is some like French oil, but any vegetable oil would do. This is a grapeseed oil. The reason why I really like this one, it's because it's quite clear. Obviously, if you're using some of the olive oils are really green, so they don't suit really, but you could also use, for example, almond oil, which is very clear as well. As we're doing a butterfly, if you're thinking about butterfly wings, they're always quite shiny. They've got that sort of little sparkle. It's like a little bit of luster. It's not glitter, but it's more like luster. There's one must have when you want to have some luster dust. You don't need to have like 50 different luster dusts in different colors. I use Squire's Kitchen Snowflake, and you can mix it with any type of color, powdered color that you've already got, like petal dusts, and it will give you amazing luster dusts. So if you look on my palette, I'm going to show you very quickly. So all of these have already been mixed with oil and luster dust. I'm just going to show you. This one has got oil but no luster dust, and that one has got nothing at all. It's just pure dust. So what I want to show you first is how we'll mix it. So just, oopsie, a few drops. And you're going to take a paintbrush and simply stir it. And that's it. You've got some paint. So I'm just going to show you quickly on this bit of wafer paper. All right, so this is some black. Okay. So it is completely edible, obviously, because we're using some edible oil, kitchen oil, and we're using edible dusts, right? So the next thing I want to do, as I told you, so at the minute I'm not going to add any luster dust to my black, okay? I'm going to add it to the brown here. Just take a bit of that luster dust. So it's called Snowflake. Okay. It's a beautiful dust. And just stir it in. And I'm not sure you can see, well, I'm hoping you can, but it's turned into an amazing brown luster dust. I'm going to show you quickly on this bit here of wafer paper. And it's got a really pretty sheen. Hopefully you can see that. I might add a little bit more to that. Just a tiny bit more. Because it's quite like a dark brown. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. So the good thing about wafer paper is that it will absorb the oil. So, but obviously don't have a paint that is too runny still. You don't want to have too much oil on your paper, because the more oil and the longer it'll take to dry. And eventually the wafer paper is not going to be able to absorb any oil anymore if there's too much. But the good thing is that you can layer the colors, like once they're dry. We've got our colors. So again, this is Squire's Kitchen Designer Metallic Luster Snowflake Dust Food Color. It's an amazing thing. You can turn any color into a very pretty luster dust color. So I've got it in all my colors here except the black. Now that I've got my colors ready, what you want is a good template. So this is just a picture picked from the internet. And again, it's simply printed on normal paper, nothing edible. And you're going to need some tracing paper and a pen, just a carbon pen, right? And what you want to do is simply trace your butterfly, okay, which I've already done for you. So I've got it already ready here. And once you've done it, so trace it this way, then you're tracing it on the other side. Okay, turn it around again, I'll put it in the initial position and start tracing. And you'll have your butterfly ready to paint. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my lightest colors. In this case, it is the light blue that I've got here. I'm not even mentioning the fact that I've got some white pieces over there. So I'm going to take my lightest blue. I'm simply going to start painting. So you're only filling at the minute. I'm going to move on to a darker blue. So taking a bit more colour, keeping my template in front of me, I'm going to start building layers of colour. And we're going to paint some orange now. And the good thing about using some thin wafer paper is, as you can see, if you're a little bit lost with your design, you can place it back on top of your original inspiration picture, and you're going to see through where to apply the colors or where the forms and shapes are.
So just make sure you bring that orange color down to the edge of the wing in between the blue parts that we've painted previously. Now do the same on the other wing, down to the edge of the wing as well. Now start adding the brown, and as you can see there's a little bit of white at the top of the wing, so when you paint the brown just make sure you leave this area white. We're back and we're gonna add some brown, blue and purple shading now.
I'm going to move on to some black now, because I really want to add this part here, because it's supposed to be dark and it kind of distracts your eyes to have it white still. So what I could do is take a very, very, very fine brush, and I've got one amazing one here from Sarot. It's a 3-0. Okay, and it's a really pretty paintbrush, really nice and thin, so it'll be perfect for the edges of the wings, for example.
To enhance lights and shadows, we're going to come back on our design with adding some of our lightest color, which is the blue in this case. So we're going to add little bits of blue, and if we need, we can come back with bits of orange or bits of black, bits of dark blue or brown, and just enhance our contrasts.
we are going to add the finishing touch to our butterfly. So I have pre-cut it now, so it's still my wafer paper butterfly. You can see at the back, the colours hasn't come through that much. So it is still drying, so I don't know if you can see, but I've left a tiny piece of white paper here, wafer paper, so that I can, you know, hold it and, you know, not ruin the paint that's still a bit fresh. And I've got here 2 black stamen that I'm gonna use for the little antennas. And to stick them on, I'm going to use the smallest bag of black royal icing. So what am I gonna do? I am going to hype 2 little dots of royal icing where the antennas are gonna be stuck. So 1 and 2. Okay. Just slightly bigger. Right. And now that I've got that, so I've bent slightly my antennas to the sides so they can actually face the right direction. And I'm going to attach them by just placing them onto the icing. Like so. And then just make sure it's stuck on the icing. Like so. So there's not much icing. Obviously I could do a bit more. I could have done the whole body if I wanted to have like a big 3D body, but I want to keep it light as possible, so that when I attach it onto the cake it has almost no way at all. So I'm going to let it dry on the side, like so. So this is just a tiny, just to mention, I've used Squatter's Kitchen royal icing mix. I really like it. It comes in a very beautiful black as well. And you know how hard it is to get some proper black, whether it comes to colouring some sugar paste or royal icing. Anything that needs to be coloured in black is really hard to get. So I think their black is amazing. I mean, if you can see, it is really black. It's beautiful, really. That's it, guys. Our tutorial's over and our butterfly is finished, and you can see its lovely little antennas as well. It's ready to put on the cake, which we are going to be doing in a couple of weeks. So what's happening next Tuesday? We will be painting together magnolias, and I will post you a template so that you can print and trace onto tracing paper. So that's already done. What I would advise you, what I would suggest is that you, after tracing it onto your tracing paper, is that you already trace it onto your sugar paste, so that the sugar paste has got some time to dry. So you've got a week, like about a week, to download the template and put it onto sugar paste. So for next time, get that ready, plus your paintbrushes, your cocoa butter, because we will go back to cocoa butter painting, and all your dusts, and we're gonna have an amazing time. So until then, stay safe, have a lovely evening, or a lovely day, depending on where you are on the planet, I guess. And speak to you soon. Bye bye.